Hey guys, it's Epic here, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys my honest review on Risk of Rain 2, a third-person roguelike shooter bearing a lot of the similarities to most dungeon crawlers like The Binding of Isaac. And also, before the video starts, I want to make it very clear that this game is in early access, so some of the points I'll be making in this video are most likely going to be changed later down the road. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So when starting Risk of Rain 2, you'll be greeted to one character. There are 6 in total. However, the rest of the characters have to be unlocked by completing challenges, and also there will be more characters coming in the future as the devs have shared on their roadmap. The challenges aren't too easy nor too hard, meaning you should unlock the characters as you play. There is also 3 difficulty levels to pick from, and what I love is that the easy mode of this game isn't too easy, meaning you don't have to be embarrassed when you tell your friends what difficulty you play on. Now, when you load into a game, you'll be thrown into a world where your end goal is to reach the teleporter somewhere on the map and activate it. Once activated, you'll have to fight a boss and finish charging the teleporter to make it to the next level. When you get to the next level, it's a rinse and repeat cycle. However, the difficulty bar in the top right will increase for every level you progress through, and also it will increase depending on how long you spend on your level. The levels get harder and harder as you go on until you inevitably die and have to restart all over again. And while there is a leveling system in the game, there isn't an overall leveling system, meaning there really is no grind in Risk of Rain 2. When you die, you start from the beginning with nothing, as if you had never picked up the game. So, how do you stay alive for as long as possible? Well, as you kill enemies, you will earn gold, which can be used to open loot boxes around the world. And by the way, I should say, you cannot purchase this gold with microtransactions, nothing like that. The boxes drop abilities and buffs for your character to help you to stay alive, such as an increased jump, a chance to make enemies bleed when you hit them, running faster, and a regenerating shield, just to name a few. And that's only a small amount of them. But anyway, these buffs can all stack, meaning if you find a duplicate buff, you can pick it up to get double the perks. And also, these buffs never go away either unless you trade them in at a 3D printer for new buffs. Your character's main abilities they use to attack, however, cannot be changed out and can only be made stronger with these buffs. Any leftover gold you may have at the end of a level will be converted into XP for your character when you go through the portal, leveling you up and making you stronger. So, it's your choice. Do you try and get some buffs, or convert your gold into XP and get stronger as you go on? So now that we know how the game works, let's go over the pros and cons. So firstly, Risk of Rain 2 features 4-player co-op, and I can honestly say it works amazing. Bosses will get stronger when there is no more players in the game, and get weaker if they disconnect, much like Borderlands. Unfortunately, however, loot is not instanced, meaning most randoms will try and steal your stuff on a regular basis. If you or your teammates die, they can be resurrected so long as at least one of you makes it to the next level. If you die in solo or all of your team die in multiplayer, it's game over. Now, what I love the most about Risk of Rain 2 is the addition of 3D, which was not featured in the first game. It makes the game more fun to explore, and also it looks absolutely beautiful. If you know me, you'll know that I love aesthetically pleasing games, and this one hits all the right spots for me. It's colourful, the UI is very clean, and also the particle effects are very well done. The options menu has tons of customizability, which is nice to see, and the menu also features galleries to view all of the buffs you have unlocked so far. If you're a fan of Borderlands or a fan of games where you can just gain endless amounts of loot in order to kill bigger enemies to get more loot, you will love this game. It's chaotic, it's fun, and starting over never feels like a chore but rather a treat, as most runs are unique. Single player is a blast and multiplayer is an explosion, showing major differences between the two, with the most chaotic fun coming from co-op. However, you'll still have just as much fun playing solo. Now into the cons, and I want to stress again before I continue, this game is very early access, so if you're watching a few months or a year after this review goes up, please remember that most of this would have likely changed by then. So firstly, I have to bring up the performance issues, and I will say that with a game as chaotic as this, it was bound to happen at some point. Once you reach the higher levels, you will notice the frames start to drop quite often, just due to how much is happening on this screen at once. I'm running the game on medium graphics, and it still does show some issues here and there. However, I I will say I didn't once encounter any screen tearing, which is a major plus. I will also state that my graphics card does surpass the recommended specs shown on the Steam page, and I honestly don't mind the issues too much just because it's expected when you play a game like this, but sadly it does bring me to my next point, being the server issues. Now granted, it only crashed on me a few times, but during multiplayer games in those higher levels, the servers did crash from what I'm guessing was the amount of stuff going on at once. It could have been that the host of the server may be left, but I highly doubt that. Also, I'm going to try my best not to get angry at the fact that it crashed my PC at one point, but I think it's still important to bring up. Like I said though, try to disregard all of that since this game is in early access, and now let's move on to the solid criticisms. Now, I'm just gonna say it, the game gets boring. It gets boring and tedious quite fast, especially in solo, and I have a few reasons as to why this happens, but I want to stick to one key reason, and that is the lack of grind. Now granted, there is a grinding game when it comes to going through the levels, but I'm referring to the grind outside of the gameplay. Risk of Rain 2 is a very deep game so far with lots to explore, but my main complaint is the lack of a leveling system for your account. It would be nice to unlock cosmetics for characters as you level up, or even unlock new skills for your characters. I'm just firing blanks here, but something along these lines would kick this game up a notch and give you a reason to keep playing other than just, oh, you know, I want to kill stuff. For example, Borderlands is a great game, but could you imagine if they just completely removed the leveling system? I want an objective here, especially since as of right now the game has no true endgame. There is no final boss and it's simply just keep going until you die. It needs something to work towards. Another con for me, which again is just my personal opinion but I would like to see an option for this, is instanced loot in multiplayer. This game is really fun, but your teammates turn into your team enemies the moment you see them continuously stealing your loot all of the time. I'd really like to see an option in multiplayer to prevent this. Now, with all of these points being made about this game and taking into account that the game is still in early access, let's summarize. Firstly is the art style. Risk of Rain 2 is a huge step up from Risk of Rain 1's 2D art style, and the new 3D environments look and feel like a lot of effort went into them. Some of them are boring and ugly, while some of them are purely stunning. For that reason, art style gets a 9 out of 10. Next up is gameplay, and I have nothing but good things to say about it. The game is very easy to learn and challenging to master, but none of that matters. What matters is that it is fun. I will however say that due to the lack of grind, as I said, the game starts to feel tedious quite quickly and it can be quite easy to become bored with it. For that reason, gameplay gets an 8 out of 10. Lastly is performance, and I'm going to be very generous here with the hopes that it does improve in the future. However, due to the frame rate problems at higher levels and some server issues here and there, I'm giving performance a 7 out of 10, giving my final score for Risk of Rain 2 an 8 out of 10. If you're into dungeon crawlers that are easy to pick up and hard to put down, Risk of Rain 2 is the game for you. It's hectic and tons of fun, especially with friends, and I think you guys will get a lot of enjoyment out of this game. Anyway, that's going to do it for this review, so if you did enjoy, a like is greatly appreciated. Also, if you want to check out more of my videos, click the cards on the right of the screen. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.